Hello, welcome to my presentation. My name is Courtney Jolie, and this is the Hacker's Playground. If the government and private industry were doing a great job at protecting its citizens and consumers from hackers, I would currently be unemployed. I work as a cybersecurity analyst for the Department of Defense, and I can attest that we experience unyielding attacks daily. It's normal for outside entities to attempt to infiltrate the government's stronghold defenses. Therefore, we always must have our guard up. Being in this field has provided me a different perspective on how we are able to apply proper defenses and what helps external entities such as private organizations to avoid the hacker's playground. In today's presentation, we will discuss some of the regulations put in place to avoid users from getting their information stolen. Then I'll go over a few examples of a data breach that will include lessons learned and how to avoid it from happening to you. Finally, I'll conclude it with what the future looks like for data protection and what companies plan on doing about hacks and potential breaches. There are many regulations in the continental U.S. that ensure consumer data privacy, many of which differ from state to state. For example, the California Consumer Privacy Act is a well-known regulation that allows consumers the right to request a business to disclose the categories and specific pieces of personal information that the business has collected about the consumers, as well as the source of that information and business purpose for collecting the information. This is a thoroughly used act that covers many consumers, not just in the state of California. How many times have you seen a request of companies asking if they could disclose your information? I see it often in corporate spaces and with government entities. It is an established law that allows your information to stay private. It's just that simple. The General Data Protection Regulation is another great example of how government protects consumer information. According to its website, GDPR is the toughest privacy and security law in the world. Though it was drafted and passed by the European Union, it imposes obligations onto organizations anywhere, so as long as they target or collect data related to people in the EU. The regulation was put into effect on May 25th, 2018. The GDPR will levy harsh fines against those who violate its privacy and security standards, with penalties reaching into the tens of millions of euros. You may think, well, I don't live in Europe, so this law does not apply to companies in the US. Wrong. Even if the company resides stateside, if it processes data of EU citizens or offer goods or services, this law does apply. In 2021, the professional networking platform LinkedIn experienced a data breach that targeted many services worldwide. The platform was compromised because cyber criminals were able to scrape data from the website's APIs and utilize user information for malicious purposes. In an article describing the event, it stated the technique was the same as that used during the April breach, as well as the publication of 533 million Facebook accounts during the same month. It was only likely tapped for an additional data dump revealed early this month that added 300 million LinkedIn accounts and brought the total number of records in this incident to over 1 billion. Situations like this can be a deal breaker when using such a popular platform. I believe LinkedIn did their best when they made a comeback with stronger security capabilities. Companies with a large amount of account holders are also a big target for the hacker's playground. Therefore, Yahoo experienced a detrimental breach in 2013 and 2014, where multiple users had their names, passwords, phone numbers, birth dates, security questions, and answers stolen. In an article describing the incident, it stated the 2014 hack was believed to be a state-sponsored and later led to a trial of a Canadian hacker and charges against Russian government agents. A relatively rare development for crimes of such caliber, but many questions remain about the 2013 hack and its perpetrators. In fact, the company has been unable to identify the intrusion. Some breaches Some breaches go without reason on how it actually occurred, but the company was able to put in corrective actions quickly by having the users create better and stronger passwords. Data protection has always been a topic of concern as our means of technology and media has advanced. We orient the rules to fulfill consumer rights, government entities, markets, and large corporations so that everyone abides and avoids transgression. For example, in an article describing how the government continues to implement these acts, it explains federal lawmakers are moving to curtail the power of big tech. Meanwhile, in 2021, state legislators proposed or passed at least 27 online privacy bills regulating data markets and protecting personal digital rights. Lawmakers from California to China are implementing legislation that mirrors Europe's GDPR, while the EU itself has turned its attention to regulating the use of AI. Where once companies were always ahead of regulators, now they struggle to keep up with compliance requirements across multiple jurisdictions. This means that we will start mirroring the strictest privacy laws in the world. It goes to show you that the system of data collection is growing and requires more supervision to maintain it. In summary, we come to understand that data protection has a distinct importance to how we move forward in the world today. We were able to review two examples of data protection laws put in place, the CCPA and the GDPR. These regulations continue to be great examples on how consumers can keep control over their data privacy. We also reviewed data breach events that occurred because there was a lack of protection in some areas. Now that we know how they manifested, we can avoid similar instances from happening to us. Lastly, we talked about what the future of data protection looks like and what we can look forward to as technology advances. By the looks of it, we will implement a stricter form of regulations to match laws used in the EU. This way, we can maintain our privacy and peace of mind. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you all are able to avoid the hacker's playground.